everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm delighted to be hanging out with you today. Well, what on earth are all these piles of books doing on my table? What is this all about? Well, I'll explain this in just a minute. Today's video is a virtual response to a challenge that's been going around. It's not really a challenge, but it's a tag, and the name of the tag is called What's in a Name? This was started by two other YouTube creators. The channels are Paper Confessions with Karamia and BB's Closet Creations. These two ladies created this tag to give us a way to find out a little bit more about each other. I was tagged by Celeste over at Woodland Inspired. Hey Celeste! So all of these books have a purpose in why my shop is called Creators Call Shop. And like I said, I'll explain that in just a minute. But first, we're going to need to go into a little bit of background on how I came up with the whole concept of Creators Call in the first place. So go ahead and get yourselves comfy or get yourselves crafty, and then we'll be right back here right after this. All right, welcome back. You should currently be staring at my, oh, there goes my cursor. You should be currently staring at my computer screen right now. I don't know how to do all those fancy like picture-in-picture kind of film things. I wish I did, because I have some cool ideas I could do if I knew how to do that. But I don't yet. All right, so back in the beginning, somewhere around 2013 or 14, I started a Bible study with my friend Diane. And the Bible study that we went through was this one here by Jenny Allen. It was called Restless. And then, of course, the subtitle, Because You Were Made for More. So we did that study together. And in that study, Jenny Allen was pointing out about how all the different parts of your life are threads, and how all of those threads are woven together to create a tapestry. I had just quit or resigned my position working full-time for a school district. I had a child in crisis who needed to come home from college, and she was going to school in the Midwest in the Chicago area, and just had a lot of things going on, just really trying to figure out what I was supposed to be doing with this stage of my life. So this Bible study, as we began to go through there, helped me to kind of unravel some of that and try to figure out what next. I had also come home to at least take 3 years off of work because our younger child was still in high school, and I knew I wanted to be off while she was finishing high school and then reassess. So as part of that, I wanted to get back into my paper crafting and the things that I had put on hold for a number of years, at least a decade. I just had all of these ideas mulling around in my head, and just different thoughts and different threads essentially of my life. So jump forward now a couple of years or a year, whenever it was, I started my Etsy shop. And the name of my Etsy shop is Creators Call. And the reason I called it that is because of that Bible study where I felt like maybe God was calling me to do something a little different, or at least to branch out and try to use my creativity in a way that would benefit other people. I had made an album, a scrapbook, for my son-in-law for his 1-year sober anniversary. Yes, that was about 2014. I had put in this scrapbook a lot of ways for him to record his journey and to just document his life, and how he had reached that point. And my daughter had thrown him a party, and so we had all these notes that we encourage people to write to say encouraging words to Sam. I put it all in an album for him. So my daughter, out of that, said, well, gosh, Mom, if you're wanting to do your scrapbooking, why don't you make scrapbooks to sell? Well, selling a scrapbook that you've put hours and hours into is kind of subjective, because the person that you're making it for may or may not appreciate all the work that you did for them. And I don't think you could ever charge enough to make that service worthwhile, frankly. Instead, I began to look up pre-made scrapbooks, and then that led me into making mini albums. And so then my daughter said, why don't you just open an Etsy shop? So I dove in just to give it a whirl. And so I decided to name my shop Creator's Call. Now at the bottom, I'm going to scroll here, don't get sick. At the bottom of my shop, you will see at the bottom of the page, somewhere down here, there we go, it says the about Creator's Call. And what I wrote in the beginning here is what I still feel is my vision. And I just said, over the years, as I've been making scrapbooks, cards, and other paper projects, I've noticed a huge gap in the products available to crafters. It's difficult to find quality items that allow me to incorporate my faith in my craft projects. As this is a large part of who I am and the life I live, it's important that I reflect my faith in my work. My shop features items I've made, as well as providing supplies for crafters to express their own faith in their creations. I aim to provide products that are different from those readily found in craft stores and other shops. This is my passion. This shop's sole purpose is to glorify the Creator, the one who made everything from the beginning and who shares a piece of his creative nature with us. And that still holds true. That is why I started my Etsy shop. That's why I create the things I do. And initially, as an outcome of that Bible study, I wanted to make journals and albums that were for people in ministry or for people, and especially things with a masculine emphasis, or just for people that, I don't know, I just wanted everything to have a faith emphasis. I have been scrapbooking since 1995, and after a while, just the themes and the products were just kind of samey and cutesy, and I mean, you're only going to go on vacation so many times in your life. You're only going to have swimming or water park themed parties so many times in your life. You know, Christmas, Halloween, all this stuff was just so cutesy, but it didn't allow us, because faith and going to church and our belief just were not being represented. And so I was trying to find a clever way to do that. Okay, I hope that all made sense, but that is where the name Creator's Call came from. It was an outgrowth of this Bible study here by Jenny Allen, and then I named my shop Creator's Call because I believe that I had been called to start doing something in this area. I was just feeling my way, just kind of exploring. So as I was finding ways to publicize my shop, because it was just very slow, and as you know, with Etsy, you have to do your own promotion. I did have the Instagram and a Facebook page. They just weren't quite wide-reaching enough or wide-spreading, and especially with Instagram, you absolutely must post every day or it loses you. It stops promoting you. So I was finding all of that exhausting, and then I switched over to YouTube. So here's YouTube. And as you can see, I've tried to kind of use the same banner page all the way across. On my Etsy one, I have changed it. As you can see, I wanted to especially point out the fast shipping, my quick response time, and my 5-star average rating, because they started a new thing about 1.5 years ago or so, where you can get your shop badges. Those are little purple badges that you see at the top. But because I don't make enough in sales every month, and what's my other? There are 5 factors, and I don't hit the number of sales that you have to make and the dollar amount of those sales, and I don't hit those month to month, so they won't give me my badges. But from the beginning, I have provided fast shipping, quick response time, and a 5-star average rating, and so I just put it in the banner here. This banner here is what my old one looked like, so I added it to my YouTube page. So in 2020, I began my YouTube channel. Now it says I joined November 18th of 2019, and I did, but I didn't upload my first video until January 21st. When I came out here to start my channel, the name Creator's Call was already taken. And it was taken by somebody who made a video like 10 years ago and only ever uploaded one. And until they take that channel down, I cannot change the name of mine. So the best way to try to do that, because I would like to keep it Creator's Call with the apostrophe all the way across, but as you see, there's no apostrophe here. On my Etsy page, there's no apostrophe because they don't know how to accept that. The system won't accept that. So anyway, I would love to have it unified as Creator's Call all the way across, and And I would love to have the apostrophe in there, but so far it hasn't worked out. So since Creator's Call was taken, and since I was trying to publicize my Etsy shop a little bit, I just added shop to the end of my name, and then it accepted it. Hopefully, like I said, someday I can take off the shop and just claim Creator's Call as my channel name so that it's a lot less confusing. But that is the story of how I got my shop name. Now, if you look over here, up here, in the banners, on the banner page, there are links to all of my sites where I am hooked up. As you see, I have a Facebook icon, which I don't visit Facebook very much. It's really just an extension of Instagram. However, every time I post to Instagram, it goes to my personal Facebook page and not my Creator's Call page. It just wasn't getting the reach, so I really don't use Facebook that much, but I claimed the name. I got my name on Instagram, which is also a Creator's Call, I believe. And I went out there and put a Pinterest page, and then I just recently started a coffee account. So if you click on the little coffee cup, you can go over to my coffee page, which I am in the process of setting up. The reason why I decided to do this is because I think it might be a good alternative to Etsy. I've been trying to find an Etsy alternative and a way to get my stuff out there without having to pay lots of fees. And I know you can offer freebies and things out here on Coffee. It's also a good way to link all of the accounts. So I'm just getting started with that. So you will see now a link in the bottom of all of my descriptions, or in the bottom of all of my videos. I'm just going to put a link to my Coffee so that if you want to support the channel, you can. But this isn't a tag about how to support my channel. This is a tag about my channel name. So I wanted to give a few examples of what I was thinking of when I first set out to have my Etsy shop and to make journals that had a faith emphasis. Okay, here we are, back to the piles of books once again. Like I said, and as I stated on my Etsy About page, I wanted to find ways to do everyday paper crafting that allowed people to incorporate their faith, and I wanted to show you how to do that. That being said, not everything that I make has a Bible or faith emphasis, but a lot of my things do, and then I also wanted to find a medium to be able to get those products into people's hands. That's why in my shop you see the packs of music pages. I have one that is Bible and Bible dictionary kind of pages and things. So here is what I was thinking. So as you know, we love our Reader's Digest pages. We love our classic books, right? But you can use, I've already used the covers from these, as you see. You can also use book pages from Christian books, the same as you do for everything else, to make your pockets and your pages and your ephemera and everything else. And you have seen me do that. So that's the first way. The second way, we're always looking for our beautiful dictionary pages, just basic dictionary pages. So why not use a Bible dictionary? And as you can see, this one has been torn apart. It's coming apart. And this is one, I think I picked this one up at a thrift store, but it has the same look. It's just a Bible dictionary instead of a general dictionary. Same thing with like a Bible trivia book. This one has all kinds of little games and little questions. So just fun ways to incorporate or create ephemera with a faith emphasis. Let's see, the next one. So here, and this is where I'm probably going to get reamed a lot, but I have no guilt over this, and I've answered this question several times. But here we have a law book, which we love because it's beautiful and old and has those lovely old pages. It has a certain look to it. And here we have a copy of Shakespeare. In fact, I have some other copies of Shakespeare that are much bigger and have the big, the hard-bound covers, but this one was easier to carry. So I've got Shakespeare. Here's classic literature, so why not use Bible pages? And we have hundreds of thousands of Bibles. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but we do have easily 20-some Bibles that we're never going to use. Now I brought this one. This isn't quite the right one I was thinking of, but it's close. This one has really thin pages, and the other one that I have has even thinner pages. They are the consistency of tissue paper. So as you can see, I have used pages in sections from this Bible. This is a Bible from someone that we knew. He was a single gentleman, had no extended family, never married, no kids, no siblings, and we were asked to clean out his estate, and so he had this there. And it's not the kind of thing, it might have been precious if he'd had a spouse or children, but he didn't. And if I take it to the thrift store, it just gets thrown out. But the pages are thin enough, I can use them like tissue paper and do collage and decoupage and things with them. So I saved that one. Same with this one. This is one of old Grandma Harrison's Bibles. Has smaller print, smaller pictures, and smaller pages. So I can do small projects. And again, you can see that I've taken pages out. So the things that you can do with regular books to achieve a certain look, you can also do with faith-based books. Here is my beloved Biblia Hebraica, and it's in Hebrew. And look at this. This thing is so thick. What is that? Almost 3 inches. And as you see, you've watched me now make some projects with some of these pages. I love it. So it's a discarded book from a library. So unless you're a Hebrew student, you're probably not going to care that much. But this is also a very old copy. I read you off the publication date at one point. It was like from 1849. They have updated this. There's a much more recent copy from 2023 out there. So we don't need one that old, right? So using a faith-based or Bible-based page. More examples. You want to use your beautiful old music, of which I have tons in my shop. So I thought, why not use hymn pages? I have lots of hymnals that I have rescued. See, aren't they beautiful? It just lends similar idea. This one's a different kind of a hymnal. I have another one, not handy here, but I have one that you see me use quite frequently that has bigger pages. It's from the 70s. But here's this. Or why not use, like this one. It's got green paper, green ink. All of the music is in green. That adds something really special to your project. So I have tons of these old music books. I have let the listings expire because I wasn't getting any interest, but if you are interested in these, look, you can just use these the same way you would everybody else's music, and they aren't all like this one, Youth Sings, or these treble choir, they aren't all specifically sacred music. They have all kinds of music. So this is what I meant by, look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? Coral gems from the masters. But I do have a lot of music packs, or a lot of music books that are specifically came from the church basement. They were going to get thrown out. So they have a faith feel to the songs, but they aren't necessarily spiritual songs, and you just use them the same way you would your other music. And what about this? How about our little golden books that we love? I got this one on geography because I want to put it with this one. And I want to do a journal at some point on creation, the story of creation. So, little golden book, we can make a similar sort of journal. This one is the story of Jesus. But I have these books too that you can incorporate with or make separate journals out of. This is a Happy Day book. This is one of those Arch Bible stories, or these are the Great Bible Stories. These Arch books were very popular when I was a kid. They have great graphics and really wonderful storytelling style. But I can use these to make faith-based journals that replicate everybody else's style of journal. Same thing here. I have beautiful images in this children's Bible. I actually have one that was my husband's, but we put it away for the future grandchildren, so I'm not tearing that one up, but I did order this one off of eBay, I think. It has gorgeous illustrations, which will make great pockets, ephemera, tags, small pages in one of these other books like that. And similarly, so what about comic books. This one has a look that's kind of like a comic book, and I do have another one that's a very old comic series. I think it was called The Life of Christ in Pictures. But look at these lovely pages. So you can incorporate your faith. I have tons of children's Bibles of all sizes and shapes. And I do have, I've again let the listing expire because there didn't seem to be much interest. I do have my packs of basic book pages, but then I also have the faith-based one, has pages from children's Bibles and things. So that is the story behind how Creators Call Shop, the channel, got its name, and how I hope that I have been able to incorporate all these different ways to inspire you and to add my faith to my projects and to show you how you can do it as well. Now, I have to come up with my 5 people that I've tagged, and I see that some of them already got tagged, so I'm not sure who I'm going to pick. I have to do some readjusting on who I've picked. So after I had to reassess who my 5 people were going to be, here's what I came up with. Because quite a few of you that I would have been very interested in hearing your channel name, you've already been tagged in this challenge, and because I'm a little slow, I already had, you know, a couple of videos ready to go. So those had already been scheduled for posting. So as of right now, I don't know that any of these folks have been tagged, so I hope I'm not double tagging you. Okay, so the first one would be Diane Shaw at Lara Craft Well. Tag your it. Pam, I haven't seen that you've been tagged yet. You probably have though. Pam Van E is your channel, but I know you had other names, so I'd love to hear how that all got changed around. Marnel at Mimi's Keepsakes. Lori Ferguson at Positive Thanks Living. And Lara Fuller at Lara Fuller Earth and Art. You are it. You get to do a little video response on how you came up with your channel name. Now, down below in the description box, I have tagged, as per the instructions, the original creators, those 2 channels, and you can watch their channels too to see how they came up with the tag and also how they came up with their channel names. And then also just the quick little, they're very simple rules of the tag. It's all down in the description box. Just open it up down below, you know, at the where it says more. Click on more and it'll tell you all kinds of things. Okay, so that is how I came by the channel name. It was basically because my Etsy shop had that name, and because I have a purpose in mind for, or a reason for what I do, and a desire to share it with everyone. I do not have a quote for the day since this is a video response and not a regular video. I hope you learned something new and interesting from this today. All right, guys, I will talk to you in the next video. Until then, be inspired and do something creative today. Bye-bye now. And now I have to go put all of these books away. All right, I hope you guys are having a really crafty day. See you later.